Hello everyone, we are here for the presentation on RMI, Remote Method Invocation. I am Pratigya Paudel.
And I am Sushank Ghimire.
So, objects in the sense of object-oriented programming, objects that are distributed across different address space either in the different processes of same computer or in the different computer connected by the network are known as the distributed objects. They work together by sharing the data and invoking the methods and also provide a seamless way to interact with the remote resources within the network boundaries. They can receive RMI. Next. Remote method invocation. Protocol for communication between the distributed system. It enables objects in different parts of the system to interact and invoke methods on each other transparently. Remote method invocation allows client to invoke the methods of the objects as if they lie in a local system, though they reside in different location. The key components are a remote interface, which is used to define the methods that can be invoked by the clients, and remote objects. Remote objects is hosted by the remote system. They are implemented in the remote interface. Stock we will talk about it later. Registry is the centralized service which is used to store the information about the objects so that it is easier for the client to access it then. This is the RMI architecture. Application layer which includes client application, server application, proxy layer, stub and skeleton, remote reference layer and transport layer. Application layer. It includes client application and server application. Client application run in the separate machine and interact with the server, while the server application provides services to the client and handle the resources, handle the request, processes them and send back the responses. It interacts with the middleware layer of the proxy layer. Proxy layer provides the infrastructures and the services necessary for the remote communication. It has stub, skeleton and registry. Stub, when the client requests a remote object, the object is not sent via the network directly to the client. Instead, a proxy object is sent and the client interacts with that proxy object. This proxy object is known as stub and it is the client-side proxy. Skeleton. Skeleton is the server-side proxy. It is responsible for handling over the class, method and the data, and so it is the server side. In the server side, so it is the server side proxy.
Hello everyone, I'm Sushank and I'll be discussing the remote reference layer of the RMI architecture. As the name stands, it provides a reference mechanism to enable remote object access. Remote reference layer actually gets a stream-oriented connection from the transport layer. It consists of the remote interface and remote object class. It is also responsible for handling with the semantics and the duplicated objects. The remote interface acts as a marker interface that indicates that a class can be accessed remotely. Similarly, the remote object class provides the default implementation of the remote interface and supports the basic object functionalities and other implementations. Similarly, there's the transport layer. The transport layer handles the communication between the clients and the server. It is responsible for setting up the connection, which is usually in the TCP/IP protocol, but it can be customized as well. And it provides reliable and efficient data transmission over the network. Transport layer is also responsible for serializing and deserializing objects during their transmission. Similarly, here's the RMI workflow. Firstly, the client looks up the remote object in the registry using the specified name. If there is a stub that exists, then it is returned and the client objects the stub which is stored in the registry. After that, the client invokes method on the stub, treating it as a local object. So for client, the stub acts as a local object in a way. The stub handles the communication with the remote object. It sends the method invocations and any required parameters for the invocation. The remote object receives the invocation, processes it, and returns the result. And finally, the result is returned by the stub to the client. So what are the benefits of using RMI? Firstly, simplified communication. RMI abstracts all of the complexities of communication, so the user does not have to worry about the implementations. Similarly, location transparency. RMI servers could be set up anywhere, and the user does not need to know anything more than the semantics required to invoke the methods. Scalability. The servers can be scaled up, the new branches can be added, new nodes could be added to the server, and the user does not have to worry about it. Similarly, there are also some issues during performing RMI. Firstly, different RMI semantics. Since we communicate using the semantics, they can be wrong, and any failure in the semantics could result in the failure of operation. Susceptibility to failures. It is set up via the internet, so obviously there are many ways that failures could occur. Similarly, protection against interference. Multiple clients could try to invoke the same method, so there should be a clear way to handle concurrency problems. Thank you, everyone.